Chapter 1. The Heiress and the Outlaw. Cindy Anne Lopez wasn't used to sneaking out. Not because she feared punishment, her parents rarely said no, but because it wasn't in her nature to disobey. She was the golden child. The star student. The girl with a future mapped out in glittering detail. Columbia University, business school, and one day, CEO of the Lopez Empire. But tonight, under the pale hush of a full moon, something pulled her out of her room like an invisible string tightening around her chest. She tiptoed barefoot across the cold marble floor of her family's mountain estate, clutching a silk hoodie around her tank top and shorts. The servants were asleep, and her parents were still in Aspen, attending some champagne-drenched fundraiser. Good. That meant no questions. Her phone buzzed. "Leo, meet me. The Cliffs. Come alone." A thrill surged through her veins. 3 weeks ago, Leo Montes had barely looked at her. Now, she was sneaking out in the middle of the night like she belonged in one of those steamy romance novels her cousin smuggled under her mattress. She didn't care if it was dangerous, or forbidden, or outright reckless. She wanted him. Leo Montes wasn't just bad news. He was a damn storm. Rumors about his father ran through Silver Lake like wildfire. Human trafficking, arms dealing, blackmail. The Montes name made even politicians flinch. Leo had been homeschooled for years, raised deep in the forest in some Gothic estate no one ever visited. Then, out of nowhere, he appeared in Cindy's elite boarding school, St. Rosalie's Academy, mid-semester, with nothing but a single duffel bag, a fake smile, and an aura of silent danger. Cindy had watched him from across the quad, beneath the oak trees, during chem class. He never talked much. Never joined clubs. But once, he looked at her. Just once. And something inside her shattered. She felt the weight of his gaze in her bones. As if he knew something about her she didn't know herself. As if he recognized her. Like she was his. She reached the cliffs in under 10 minutes. The forest path was faintly lit by moonlight, and the air smelled of pine and danger. She paused at the clearing's edge, her breath caught between nerves and anticipation. Then she saw him. Leo. Sitting shirtless on the edge of the rock, his bare back lined with scars like claw marks, his jeans damp with dew. His eyes glowed under the moon, unnaturally bright, a golden hue that made her heart stop. "You're late," he said, his voice deep, husky, not quite human. "You're lucky I came at all," Cindy replied, trying to steady her voice. "You didn't give me a lot of choice." Leo turned toward her slowly. His body was carved, lean and powerful, but what struck her most was the rawness in his gaze. He looked haunted. "You shouldn't have come," he said softly. "Then why did you ask me to?" He didn't answer right away. Instead, he stood, towering over her as he approached. Cindy took a step back instinctively. "You don't understand what I am," he murmured. "What you're getting into." "Then tell me," she challenged, lifting her chin. "Because I'm tired of being left in the dark." Leo's jaw clenched. He reached up, brushing a strand of her hair behind her ear. His touch was gentle, but his fingers trembled slightly. His breath smelled wild, like soil and smoke and pine. "I can't stay away from you anymore," he said. "But once I touch you, really touch you, everything changes." Cindy's heart pounded in her chest like a war drum. "Then touch me." And he did. Their lips met in a kiss that ignited every nerve in her body. It was soft at first, searching, hesitant, then fierce. His arms locked around her, pulling her into the heat of his bare chest, and she felt something surge between them. A pulse. A beat. A low, thrumming connection that wrapped around her soul. And then he pulled away, suddenly gasping, clutching his chest. "No, no, no, not tonight." His body convulsed, and Cindy screamed as Leo dropped to his knees, howling in agony. Bones cracked. Skin shifted. Fur sprouted along his arms and chest. His screams became snarls. Growls. In seconds, he wasn't Leo anymore. He was a wolf. A massive, midnight black beast with golden eyes. He backed away from her, teeth bared, muscles trembling. Cindy stood frozen. Her world shattered like glass. The boy she was falling in love with was a monster. But the strangest thing of all? She wasn't afraid. She was drawn to him. Somewhere deep inside, she knew. She was part of this. Chapter 2. The Bite of Love. The dream came in flashes. A forest soaked in moonlight. Blood dripping from silver fangs. A woman in white, weeping. A black wolf circling her. And Cindy, watching it all from above, as if she were floating, fading. She woke up gasping. Her bedroom was bathed in golden dawn light, but her sheets were damp with sweat, and her skin tingled as if fire had kissed it. The events of the night before crashed into her like a tidal wave. Leo. The transformation. The wolf. She sat up quickly, running her fingers through her tangled curls. She had fainted, she remembered that much. 1 minute she was staring into the eyes of a giant beast, and the next, darkness. But someone had brought her home, tucked her in, cleaned the dirt from her feet. Leo. He had touched her even after he changed, which meant he hadn't hurt her. He could have ripped her apart, yet he didn't. Why? Cindy dressed quickly, pulling on jeans and a sweatshirt, but her hands trembled the whole time. The memory of his golden eyes, those eyes that still looked like him even in beast form, wouldn't leave her. She had kissed him, wanted him, and now. She didn't know what to think. Was she afraid? Maybe. But that wasn't the dominant feeling rising in her chest. It was curiosity and desire. By mid-afternoon, she was at the edge of the woods again, the same cliff where it had all happened. The wind tugged at her hoodie as she stepped into the clearing. "Leo," she called softly. "Nothing." She turned to leave, but froze when she felt a warm breath against the back of her neck. "Don't come here alone," he said, his voice low and urgent. She spun around. He stood just inches from her, clothed this time in a simple black t-shirt and ripped jeans, but his energy still crackled like lightning. His eyes searched hers. "I had to see you," she whispered. "You should have stayed away." "You kissed me," she said, accusing but not angry. "I warned you." His voice broke slightly. "You don't understand what I am." "Then tell me." She stepped closer, until they were chest to chest. "Don't protect me with silence, Leo. I'm not some porcelain doll. You owe me the truth." He looked away, jaw tightening. A long pause. Then, finally, "My family, we're not normal. We're not just criminals or outlaws." He glanced up at the sky. "We're cursed." Cindy's heart pounded. "Cursed how?" Leo exhaled. "There's a blood oath, older than the town itself. My ancestors made a pact with something they shouldn't have. A being that lives between worlds. In exchange for power, they gave up their humanity, piece by piece." He ran a hand through his hair, then locked eyes with her. "Every firstborn son in my family is born a wolf, bound by the moon, forced to shift every full cycle. But that's not the worst part." He stepped closer. "If I fall in love, real love, if I claim a mate without the curse being lifted, she dies." Cindy's breath caught. "What?" He nodded slowly. "The curse kills the one we love. It's happened over and over. My uncle, my grandfather, all of them buried women they couldn't protect." His voice dropped. "That's why I tried to stay away. From the second I saw you, I knew I'd fall. But I can't. If I love you, Cindy, you die." Silence stretched between them like a blade. And then Cindy did something that surprised even her. She reached up, cradled his face in her palms, and kissed him again. This kiss wasn't hungry like before. It was deep, soulful. She poured everything into it, her fear, her confusion, her reckless desire. When she pulled back, her voice trembled. "Then let's break the curse." Leo stared at her in shock. "You don't get it. No one breaks the curse. It's bound by blood, sealed in the mountain with the bones of the dead." "Then let's unseal it." Cindy's eyes burned with defiance. "You think you're the only one with secrets? My family, the Lopezes, they're not just rich because of hotels. My father keeps books he won't let me read. My mother prays in strange languages when the moon is full." She looked out at the trees. "I think we're more connected than you know." Leo's jaw tightened. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying," She looked up at him. Let's find out what they've been hiding. Let's finish what our families started. If there's a curse, there's a way to undo it. The wind howled. And Leo smiled, just a little. You're insane. I know. But you're mine. I know that too. He grabbed her hand. The moment their fingers touched, something surged through her veins. Not pain, not heat, something older. A pull. A bond. She gasped. You felt that, he whispered. Yes. Leo's face went pale. It's starting. What is? The bond, he murmured. The claiming, the moon's recognizing us. We don't have much time. And just like that, their enemies began to stir. Because across the valley, in a hidden crypt beneath the Montes estate, ancient eyes blinked open. And they felt it. The blood bond had begun. Chapter 3. Secrets Beneath the Moon. Cindy couldn't sleep that night. Not because she was afraid of Leo, but because she was starting to feel different. It began as a warmth in her spine. Then it spread to her fingertips. A hum, like her blood was vibrating. As if something dormant inside her had stirred awake the moment Leo touched her. The bond wasn't just emotional, it was physical. And ancient. The moon was high again when she rose from bed, crossed the room, and opened the old cedar chest her father kept locked near his fireplace. She'd found the key once by accident, tucked behind a painting of a wolf with glowing eyes, and she had never dared use it. Until now. The lock clicked open with a reluctant groan. Inside were scrolls, black candles, old photos, and a book bound in animal skin. She pulled it out with trembling fingers. The cover read, Codex de la Luna, Sangre del Primer Lobo. Codex of the Moon, Blood of the First Wolf. Her breath hitched. Her father had hidden this. She flipped through the pages, eyes wide as she skimmed curses written in Latin, sigils drawn in blood, and diagrams of wolves bound by human chains. Then she found it. The Ritual of Severance. The page was tattered and burned around the edges, but the words were legible. When the child of one cursed and the child of one pure are bound in love under a blood moon, their bond may awaken the heart of the mountain and summon the spirit of Loba Vieja, the first wolf. If she deems them worthy, the curse may be undone, but the price must be paid in blood. Cindy whispered the words aloud. The child of one cursed. Leo. The child of one pure. Was she the pure bloodline? She didn't even have time to answer that question before a knock startled her. Not at her door. At her window. She gasped and turned. Leo stood outside in the dark, hoodie soaked from rain, hair clinging to his forehead. His golden eyes were frantic. Cindy. Let me in. Now. Moments later, he was inside, pacing her room like a caged animal. They know, he said. The council. My father. Everyone. They felt the bond last night. We've started something ancient, something they never wanted us to find. Who's they? Leo stopped and turned to her, his chest heaving. There's more to this than just my curse. The Council of Elders, the werewolf bloodline leaders, they swore to keep the curse in place. It keeps the Montes men obedient, controlled. He ran a hand down his face. But breaking the curse, that's rebellion. Cindy stepped forward. Then let's rebel. Leo's eyes snapped to hers. She handed him the book. He read quickly, his expression darkening with every line. When he reached the part about Loba Vieja, he froze. This is real, he whispered. The first wolf, the goddess of our kind. The one who bit the first man under moonlight. They said she was buried beneath the mountain. Silverfong Peak, Cindy said. My family owns it. Leo blinked. Your family what? My grandfather purchased it before I was born. But no one ever goes there. He said it was cursed. Leo let out a sharp laugh. Of course he did. Because it is. That's where the ritual must be performed. He set the book down and looked at her. But we'll need 3 things to summon her. Blood from the cursed. Blood from the pure. And the Luna key, the moonstone dagger that was buried with her. Where's the dagger? He hesitated. My father has it. In the vault beneath our estate. He wears the key around his neck. Cindy swallowed. So we steal it. Leo's eyes softened. You'd really risk everything? Your life, your family, for this? For you? That was all it took. He closed the space between them. She didn't resist. Their mouths met again, hotter this time. Desperate. His hands roamed her waist, and hers tangled in his hair. The bond pulsed between them like a second heartbeat. But then, something shifted. The air grew thick, heavy. The floorboards creaked. The windows rattled. And from the shadows, a growl. Not Leo's. They broke apart. From the far end of her room, a shape began to crawl out of the shadows. A gaunt creature with glowing red eyes, skin stretched too tightly over a skeletal frame. Its body twitched as it moved, and its claws scraped the walls. Cindy's breath hitched. What the hell is that? Leo stepped in front of her. A shade wolf. Sent by the council. They know we've found the ritual. The creature lunged. Leo shifted in a heartbeat. Bones cracked. His body grew. Fur erupted from his skin as he transformed into the beast Cindy had seen before. Massive, dark, powerful. He slammed into the shade wolf midair. The two collided with a shattering roar, claws and fangs tearing into each other. Cindy ducked as a dresser toppled and the wall cracked from impact. "Leo!" she screamed. He roared back in response, pinning the beast and sinking his jaws into its throat. Black mist oozed from the wound. The creature shrieked, and then dissolved into smoke. Leo panted, blood dripping from his fur. Cindy ran to him as he shifted back, collapsing onto her carpet, naked and shaking. "Are you okay?" she whispered. "I'm fine," he rasped. "But we have to move fast. The council isn't going to wait. If we're going to break this curse, we need to get that dagger." Cindy nodded, heart pounding. Then something inside her burned, sharp and hot. She cried out, clutching her chest. Leo's eyes widened. "No, not now." Her eyes glowed silver. She doubled over, gasping. "Cindy, you're not just the pure blood," he whispered, his voice laced with awe and fear. "You're the one born to end the curse." And outside, the blood moon began to rise. Chapter 4. The Curse Reborn. Cindy had always thought the Montes estate was a myth. A ghost story whispered by Silver Lake's upper class, a Gothic ruin hidden deep within the northern forest, cursed, sealed, forgotten. It wasn't forgotten. It was watching. She and Leo stood beneath the twisted iron gates at midnight, the woods silent behind them, the wind thick with frost. The moon, not yet full, but bloated and red, hovered like an omen above the mountains. "Last chance to run," Leo murmured. She gave him a sideways glance. "If I wanted to run, I wouldn't be standing in front of Dracula's vacation home." He smirked, but his eyes were hollow. Inside, the estate was a cathedral of secrets, black stone halls lit by candle sconces, portraits of snarling men with golden eyes, stairs that creaked under their weight as they descended deeper into the mansion's underbelly. Cindy's heart pounded. Each step felt like crossing a line that could never be uncrossed. Leo led her to a wall marked by a crescent moon carved in obsidian. He placed his palm against the center, and the stone shivered. A low growl echoed through the corridor. The wall peeled open, stone grinding against stone, to reveal a spiral staircase descending into pitch darkness. "No one comes down here except my father," Leo said grimly. "If we're caught, we won't be." The air grew colder as they descended. Cindy's breath came out in puffs of fog, and the strange hum in her blood grew louder with each step. At the bottom, a vault. Thick steel, carved with runes that pulsed faintly. Beside it hung a heavy silver chain, empty. Leo cursed. "The key's not here." Cindy turned. "Then where?" Footsteps echoed. Slow, heavy, confident. Out of the shadows emerged Rafael Montes. Leo's father. Tall, broad-shouldered, regal and terrifying. His eyes were like burning coals. He wore a long black coat, and hanging from a chain around his neck was the Luna key. "I wondered when you'd come for it," Rafael said, voice like gravel. Leo stepped protectively in front of Cindy. "We don't want trouble." "You already brought it," Raphael replied. I felt the bond between you two crackle across the woods like lightning. You've broken centuries of law, boy. He looked at Cindy. The Lopez girl. The pure. Just like her grandmother. You really don't know, do you? Cindy stiffened. Know what? Raphael smiled, but it wasn't warm. Your family was never pure. That's just what they told you. Your grandmother was a witch, child. A moon priestess. She betrayed us all. Cindy blinked. You're lying. Am I? He held up a scarred hand. She cursed me herself when I tried to take her heart. We were lovers once. Until she chose to seal the mountain. The dagger you came for? It was forged from her bones. Cindy's knees went weak. Leo steadied her. You knew about this, she whispered to him. I know. I didn't. But Raphael wasn't done. Even now, you think love will save you? That breaking the curse will set us free. His voice rose. The curse is what made us strong. Without it, we are nothing but men again. Weak. Mortal. We don't want power, Leo growled. We want freedom. Raphael's hand went to the dagger. Then you'll have to take it from me. Lightning fast, he struck. Leo shifted midair, slamming into his father. They crashed into the wall, claws slashing, fangs bared. The vault trembled under the force of their battle. Cindy screamed, ducking behind a pillar as shards of stone flew like knives. Raphael kicked Leo back, leaving deep gouges in his chest. You'll never win, boy. You're not strong enough. You're wrong, Leo spat blood. I'm not fighting alone. Cindy stepped forward, eyes glowing silver. Her hands lifted as instinct, not logic, guided her. The Codex's words echoed in her mind. When the blood of two binds under moonlight, the spirit shall answer. She reached for the dagger. It burned her skin, but she held it fast. Blood poured down her wrist. Leo, still half-wolf, grabbed her free hand. Their blood mingled, sizzled, glowed. Then the vault walls split apart. A shockwave exploded outward, flinging Raphael against the far wall. From the crack in the floor, a voice spoke. Female. Ancient. Wild. Who dares summon Loba Vieja? The room grew icy. Cindy dropped to her knees, head bowed. Leo followed, trembling. Raphael writhed in pain, howling in rage as his body began to crack. Cindy looked up and saw her. Loba Vieja. A towering spirit wolf, made of moonlight and shadow. Her eyes were galaxies. Her fur shimmered like the stars. She stepped through the vault like a ghost, her voice echoing in every stone. The cursed and the pure, their blood has called to me. She looked at Leo. You seek to sever the chain. Leo nodded. And you, she looked to Cindy. You carry more than blood. You carry choice. The room shook. The curse can be broken, but not without cost. One must offer what was taken at the beginning, a soul bound in love. Cindy's heart froze. What does that mean? Leo's face went pale. It means, one of us must die, he whispered. Loba Vieja lowered her head. Only in death can the blood debt be paid. Choose. Silence fell. Then Leo stepped forward. I choose me. Cindy lunged. No. But Loba Vieja stopped her with a whisper. The choice is not yours to make, child. You carry life now. Cindy blinked. What? Loba Vieja smiled gently. The bond has taken root. The heir to the broken line stirs within you. The curse cannot take two souls in one body. Cindy gasped. She was pregnant. Leo turned, stunned. We didn't even. It happened the moment you claimed me, she whispered. Loba Vieja raised her head. Then the curse is broken. Not by death, but by birth. A burst of silver light erupted from the vault. The walls groaned. The runes burned. Raphael screamed, then vanished. Loba Vieja howled, a sound that echoed through the mountains and skies. Then she was gone. Silence. Leo collapsed to his knees. Cindy ran to him, tears streaming down her cheeks. He held her close, forehead to hers. "It's over," he whispered. "We're free." "No," she corrected. "We're just beginning." Chapter 5. The War for the Moonborn. The world didn't just change when the curse broke. It tilted. All across the supernatural realm, Pax in Romania, seers in the Andes, ancient blood witches in the Ivory Coast, felt the same thing at the exact moment the vault exploded with silver light. The moon bond has been fulfilled. The curse is undone. The prophecy child has been conceived. Cindy Lopez wasn't just a girl in love anymore. She was the most protected and hunted woman alive. They escaped the Montes estate under cover of darkness. Leo had shifted back into human form, bloodied and trembling, and Cindy leaned on him every step through the woods. By dawn, they made it to an abandoned mountain cabin tucked away on her grandfather's old hunting land. Leo collapsed into a chair, clutching his side. Cindy rushed to him, pressing a cloth to the slash across his ribs. "You're losing blood." "I've lost worse," he muttered. "You should rest." "I can't." Her voice was soft, but her spine was steel. "Not until I understand what's happening inside me." Leo looked up, pain flickering behind his eyes. "You carry my air," he whispered. "But this bond, it's deeper than just love or lust. The moment we connected, your body accepted the wolf inside me. Our child will be the firstborn without the curse," she said. Leo nodded. "Free. Unbound. But that's exactly why they'll come for you." Cindy stiffened. "Who?" "Everyone." He was right. By nightfall, they weren't alone. A knock shook the cabin door. Leo leapt to his feet, growling. Cindy stepped forward. "Wait. I know that energy." She opened the door cautiously. Standing in the shadows was a woman cloaked in deep indigo. Her eyes glowed a soft lavender, and a thick braid of gray hair coiled over her shoulder like a rope. "Your grandmother sends her regards," the woman said. "I'm Yara, Moon Priestess of the Forgotten Circle, and we've been waiting for you, Child of Light and Wolf." Yara lit candles in a circle around Cindy, murmuring prayers in a language older than time. The cabins would creaked with the force of old magic. Cindy sat cross-legged, hands resting on her stomach. She wasn't showing yet, but something pulsed beneath her skin. A heartbeat that wasn't her own. "I've seen the child's soul," Yara whispered. "It shines like fire. Born of moonlight and rebellion. This baby is prophecy." "What prophecy?" Cindy asked. Yara gazed at her with sorrow. "The child will either unite the fractured Werewolf clans, or destroy them." Leo stood at the edge of the circle. "What do you mean, destroy?" "Some will want to use the child as a weapon. Others will want to kill it before it grows. You've broken a curse that held power in place for centuries. Now the balance is undone." Cindy clenched her fists. "Then we protect it. We fight." Yara nodded. "You will not be alone. Some of us remember the old ways. Your grandmother lives in hiding with the rest of the Forgotten Circle. She will shelter you until the child is born." Cindy blinked. "My grandmother is alive." Yara's eyes twinkled. "She never died. She vanished to keep you safe. But now, she calls for you." The journey to the Forgotten Circle was brutal. They traveled under shadows, through caves carved into the spine of the Rockies, protected by old sigils and blood wards. Cindy barely slept. The further they moved from Silver Lake, the more she felt the world watching her. Whispers in the wind. Growls in the dark. Dreams she couldn't explain. Every time she touched Leo, her fingers sparked. Her body was changing. Her senses sharpening. Her dreams filled with visions of wolves bowing to a child wrapped in silver fur. One night, curled against Leo beneath a fur blanket, she whispered, "What if we're not ready for this?" Leo kissed her collarbone, voice rough with longing. "We weren't supposed to be. But we are." They made love that night slowly, tenderly. No fear. No secrets. Just skin and soul. And the bond between them glowed like fire. When they reached the sacred glade, Cindy saw her grandmother for the first time. She stood at the edge of a pool fed by a moonlit waterfall, robes billowing in the breeze. Her face was lined but regal, eyes glowing with quiet power. "Cindy," she said softly, "you are the end of one era and the beginning of another." Cindy ran into her arms, sobbing. "I don't know what to do," she whispered. Her grandmother smiled. "You will." Then she turned to Leo. "And you are the one who dared to love a Lopez woman properly. Welcome, son of the wolf." Leo bowed his head. The Forgotten Circle welcomed them both. Warriors, witches, former rogues. A broken family rising to protect the future. But peace would not last. Because on the final night of the moon cycle, as Cindy stood in the water, cradling her growing belly, a dark silhouette approached the edge of the glade. He wore a mask of bone. Behind him stood dozens, shifters, hunters, blood-bound witches. He removed his mask slowly. Leo's breath caught. "It can't be." Cindy's voice was a whisper. "Raphael." But it wasn't. It was someone else. Leo's brother. The one who was supposed to be dead. "Hello, little brother," he said, voice like ice. "Did you really think you'd escape the bloodline that easily?" He stepped forward. "I've come for the child." Chapter 6. Luna Regia Rises. The glade was no longer sacred. It was a battlefield. Warriors of the Forgotten Circle formed a protective arc around Cindy, shielding her swollen belly and trembling form. Leo stood in front of her, shirtless, blood pulsing under his skin, eyes locked on the figure that stepped out of the shadows. Adrian Montes, Leo's older brother. Thought dead since he was 13. But he wasn't dead. He was reborn in darkness. Cloaked in bone and ash, Adrian's presence sucked the warmth from the air. Behind him stood the fractured remains of outlaw werewolf clans, the Forgotten Sons, the Crimsons, the Pale-Eyed Packs. Shifters who had sold their souls for survival. And witches whose eyes gleamed with unholy hunger. Cindy stared at him in disbelief. "Why now?" she asked. "Why come for us now?" Adrian's voice was silk and steel. "Because your child is the reset. The Moonborn. With that blood, we can rewrite the ancient laws. Remove the curse completely, not just from one family line, but from all of us." He grinned coldly. "Or bend it to our will." Leo stepped forward, his voice shaking with fury. "You died in my arms." "I changed in your arms," Adrian snarled. "Raphael offered me to the Old Ones as payment for power. I became more than a wolf. I became chosen." Adrian raised a gloved hand. The forest screamed. Dozens of shade wolves poured from the darkness, snarling, glowing red, eyes empty of anything but rage. Yara raised her staff. "Form the circle." The Forgotten Circle surged forward, chanting in the language of the ancients. Sigils flared around the glade. Trees bent to shield Cindy. Winds howled as the magic ignited. Cindy's pulse raced. Her body burned. Her child kicked, once, twice, then froze. A vision struck her mind like lightning. A silver child standing between two armies. A hand raised in peace. The moon split in two. Blood in the water. Love or war. One choice. She fell to her knees. "Leo!" He turned just in time to catch her before she collapsed. "She's going into labor," Yara gasped. "It's too soon," Leo cried. "No," Yara whispered, eyes wide. "It's exactly the right time." The final stand begins. Adrian's army clashed with the circle. Claws tore flesh. Fire met ice. Wolves collided midair. Yara and the priestesses formed a protective dome around Cindy as she screamed in pain, the ground cracking beneath her. Leo fought like a man possessed. His wolf ripped through enemy after enemy. But Adrian was unstoppable, an alpha soaked in shadow. "You can't protect her forever," Adrian snarled. Leo turned to him, blood dripping from his mouth. "I don't have to protect her." Behind them, a howl split the sky. Not a cry of pain. A cry of birth. Cindy's body arched. Light exploded from her chest. A silver spiral of energy wrapped around her belly and surged into the sky. The fighting stopped. Every creature turned to the light. A child's cry echoed through the forest. Not human, not beast. Something new. Yara lifted the infant into the moonlight. She was glowing. Skin like molten pearl. Eyes already open, blazing silver. A mark over her heart, the sigil of Loba Vieja. Cindy collapsed, breathing hard, tears streaming down her cheeks. She's perfect. Leo fell to his knees beside them, cradling both Cindy and the child. You did it. You saved us. But Adrian wasn't done. He surged forward, claws raised. I will have her blood. Yara spun, eyes glowing. No. She raised her staff, and impaled it into the earth. The ground split. From the depths rose the ghost of Loba Vieja herself. Her silver form towered over the glade. Enough. Adrian froze mid-strike. The energy drained from his body. Loba Vieja turned to Cindy and Leo. You have fulfilled the bond. You have given me life again. The curse is broken, but the future must be guarded. She pointed to their daughter. She will be hunted, worshipped, feared. You must disappear. Raise her in secret. The world is not ready. Leo nodded. We understand. Cindy clutched the baby tight. But when the time comes, Loba Vieja said, voice deep with prophecy, she will rise as Luna Regia, the Moon Queen, and bring the two worlds together. With that, Loba Vieja turned to Adrian. You chose darkness. Her howl split the sky, and Adrian crumbled into ash. The new moon. 6 years later. In a quiet village nestled in the Scottish Highlands, a young girl with silver eyes runs barefoot through the woods, laughing. Behind her, her father, now graying at the temples, chases her with a smile. Inside their stone cottage, Cindy watches them from the porch, cradling a steaming mug of tea. Peace. They'd bought new names. Started over. But the dream never left her. Their daughter, standing in moonlight, arms raised. Two worlds, human and wolf, kneeling before her. It was coming. One day. But for now, they were safe. Together. In love.